Hello YouTube, welcome back to another game of Starcraft 2 Legacy of the Void. This is going to be the fourth game between Namshar and Hydra. Now, a quick reminder, if you haven't seen the previous games, all the links to those videos will be at the bottom of the video in the description tab. You're going to see pretty much every one of the links there, including any future videos. Of course, if you're from game 3, you might see game number 4 or 5. Sorry, this is 4, so you might see game number 5 there as well. And of course, there's more. You might see more, but yeah, so... Just to note, some of them might be private if this is only released now, then the next one's obviously not released yet. So let's introduce our players and then bring up the scores, so you do have a bit of chance to go to the previous videos if you haven't seen them. So Namshar spawning as the blue Zerg on the bottom right hand side of Ruins of Seras. He is on Team Karnage eSports and he is from Sweden. Now let's have a look at his awesome little icon here. There we go, a little crocodile there, pretty cool, nice and red. Unfortunately he's not red himself. Now his opponent is going to be Hydra, and Hydra is on Team Root Gaming. Doesn't have his little root icon, that's quite funny. And he is from Korea. And Namshar is from Sweden, by the way. Now the scores are about to be displayed, so of course if you haven't seen the previous games, you're about to be spoiled. So let's see. I believe the current score is Hydra is at 1 and Namshar is at 2. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that is the case. And Hydra lost simply because the previous game by the way, Hydra lost because he didn't snipe off a hatchery at the very beginning when he should have, and instead he ended up losing most of his units, trying to do a bit of aggression onto the main base, which very, very badly failed. His opponent at that point was just snowballing pretty hard, so yeah. So both of our players here, as you can see, starting off with a hatchery first and then straight into a spawning pool. Now just to note the timings, spawning pool and hatchery when that is the order of build. It's spawning pool at 2 minutes, hatchery at 5 seconds past 2 minutes, which is exact timings here, as you can see, as predicted. It's pretty much identical like that. If you start with a spawning pool first, I think it's about 1:30, I don't remember the exact timing for it, 1:30 for that, and then the hatchery is about 2:20 or something like that. Just a quick note for people that are watching this as the VOD on YouTube itself. I am pretty much streaming every time that I'm recording now, just to let you know. And the reason I do that is to basically interact with my audience on a live basis. So if you want to join me sometime, I will be leaving announcements and a video as well. I can't really schedule it a few days in advance. I do have a busy work schedule as well. So when I'm able to do it, I try to do it as early as possible, so maybe 2-3 hours before the stream I'll post a quick video, just say hello, I'm about to stream, and just keep an eye out for that. And of course I'm very, very happy to see any of my subscribers joining me, or even non-subscribers who could be converted to a subscriber, joining on the stream and just saying hello. Now, is the Zergling going to be the hero Zergling here? Oh, managing to snipe off a free worker with that. Now, there was no workers killed here for Namshar. Just a bit of aggression going down. What is this over here? Baneling's being made, and this is actually one of those games. It's not quite the 3-minute Baneling and Zergling game, but it is pretty much, you know, 2 base and then a bunch of aggression. So interesting enough, this Zergling just running around the base, not doing a whole lot with it. Just scouting out, it seems. And these Banelings, they're so close right now. They could snipe off a few of these workers. Beautiful hit there, and managing to take out a few workers with that. 4 in total. That's actually 3 with these Banelings, which probably is not worth it. But of course, any sort of economic damage you can do is absolutely awesome. Now, third base is coming down for our players here. Now, strange enough, I think that was a miss. Like, he actually pinged on the map. Very, very close. So that ping was probably from whoever was observing or casting the game previously, so that gets saved. But that base got very close to getting taken out. Looks like he's got his own Banelings at this point, Namshar that is. Roach Wards are on the way as well. Army supply is favouring Hydra, but such small difference is not going to make a lot of... Ooh, Banelings. Ooh, that was actually nice. I think it was a 4-for-3 trade here for Hydra. Starting to do more damage onto this hatchery. I don't know if he's really trying to take this hatchery out because he's basically probably lost the previous game by not sniping that off. So I don't know if he's overcommitting to that. I think he should probably ignore it for now. I mean, it's not a gold base. It's up at this point, about half of its health remaining. And, oh, look at that. A layer coming out for Hydra. I wonder what he's going to do with that. Looking at gases, he's got himself 3 gases at the moment. So if we see any more gases being put down, it's very, very likely going to hint towards Mutalisk play. But at this time, I wouldn't be too concerned about that. Roaches are on the field. Namshar has got quite a nice army supply advantage here. It's just the only disadvantage, of course, is there's so many units on the field that, look at that, as soon as he spots these units approaching, he starts throwing down a few of his own workers, which means, or not workers, but roaches, and that is very, very quickly going to even out the army supply. So the one beauty of these big ass maps is that you can just reinforce your units as soon as you spot your opponent moving in. So how is this game going to end out? Or to play out, rather. Banelings being morphed in here. That's actually quite a nice amount. That's 5 banelings, 6 banelings in total. There's only a few Zerglings, so the roaches are going to be a bit more important here. And, ooh, this is not a good position for Namshar. The army supply is a little bit bigger for Hydra right now. There we go. Engagement is going down. These banelings have been worn down just a little bit, which means they could be easily taken out before they reach the opponent. And there we go. Zerglings running in here. Going to potentially get a nice surround here. The baneling in the middle there. Very, very nasty. Can't surround with these Zerglings. And Hydra with a nice cleanup here. 37 to 31 is the army supply. And he just threw down a bunch of roaches as well. Beautiful. Beautiful play here. And the queen also gonna get taken out here. There's no way for that thing to run. It is so ridiculously slow. Queens off creep are just a joke. I think they need a bit of a nerf, to be honest. But then again, I mean, I remember in the past there used to be styles of play where the queens would actually be part of an army. For example, if you've got Ultralisks and Broodlords, you could use those queens to keep them alive out the front without actually losing them. But now that queens are so slow and the creep spread is not as focused in Legacy of the Void, it's just, they're not that useful. There we go, Zergling run by the way, Michael, whoever, if you're watching this VOD, obviously you're on the stream right now, but in the VOD, anybody who's watching, there was a question asked, are Zergling run-bys worth it after the initial few attacks, or maybe after the initial few aggressions with them? I was saying that the answer is a bit complicated, but the answer overall is yes. But what you need to do is not run into the main army with the Zerglings or anything like that. You just need to go around, avoid the main army, and then run straight into the middle line. That aggression didn't do a whole lot, but what he did do is he ran those Zerglings like this around the side, if you look at the minimap, and he ran them into this expansion here. I think he should have probably went for the main base instead. There wouldn't have been a lot of things to defend against it there. There we go, the hatchery being put down, that did get sniped off. Roaches here again. I don't think they're going to be able to snipe it off this time without losing their lives. Now just to note, metabolic boost has been completed for Hydra, but not for Namshar. So he's going to be faster than these roaches, running straight into the main base. Now, will he manage to snipe off this queen? I think the queen is what he's going to go for. And he is indeed going to be able to snipe that off. Nice play here. This is just going to be a bit of a hindrance to the production capabilities. As you can see here, this base also going to get denied, and there we go, GG has been called. Hydra doing too much damage, managing to snipe off a base. I mean, do you see exactly what destroying a base and queens does to a Zerg player? Queens, obviously less larva, and the bases themselves is less larva, less income, and of course, you know, having an extra hatchery is very, very useful for the Zerg player overall. So that's pretty much it for game number 4, bringing the series up to 2 apiece. Okay, and that's it for game number 4. Our series is now tied up at 2 apiece. We're going to moving on to game number 5. There's no question of the series, and I will see you guys in the next video. Good luck, take care, and if you want to leave any comments below, of course, you're very welcome to. Bye-bye.